We are starting Unit 5, which is Graphing and Writing Linear Inequalities. It has 2 teaks that are involved, so there is a new unit divider that I will show you. So the 2 skills are the readiness, which is the one that is one that will focus on more than supporting. It's graph the solution set of linear inequalities in 2 variables on the coordinate plane. And then the supporting, write linear inequalities in 2 variables given a graph of values, a graph, and a verbal description. We do not have any vocab. The only thing that I have on here is just reminders about your inequalities. And we'll make some notes on here as we go. So let's look at our digital interactive notebook. So reminders, we're in chapter 5, which is unit 5. Make sure you are completing the notes as we go. If you are absent, you are responsible for watching the videos, taking the notes, because this digital interactive notebook is due at the end of our unit, right before the test. So make sure you're completing the slides as we go. Just some reminders about the shortcuts. We can still use the OC reference chart, so you can look at that as you need. And then a calculator cheat sheet is right here if you'd like that. Some more pointers on how to use the Google Slides toolbar, so you can look back at that if you need to. Now we're on slide 5, the first slide that we will actually complete. So let me zoom in, and we are going to put some notes in here. Oh, let's see. Let me zoom in. Okay, so graphing linear inequalities, the steps. Okay, so graphing inequalities steps. First step is you are going to solve the equation for y, just like you solve the inequality, sorry. Just like you would with equations. Okay, a reminder is, remember whenever we solve inequalities and we divide by a negative, do y'all remember what we have to do for inequalities when we divide by a negative? Flip the symbol. Okay, so step 2 is you're going to graph the inequality line, inequality, just like how you graph equations. Y equals mx plus b. You're going to graph the y-intercept first and then do your slope, rise over run. You're going to use a solid line if less than, equal to, or greater than or equal to. So we need to insert those symbols. Let me see if I can find those. Insert special characters. less than equal to, and then greater than equal to. If it worked. Did y'all see how I got the symbol? Okay. Insert special characters and then look for less than, greater than. So if it's solid, if it's less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, then it's going to be dashed if just less than or greater than. And we have those symbols on our keyboard. All right, step 3, we are going to shade above or below the line because it's, when you talk about inequalities, it's talking about a set of numbers that are less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So you're going to shade above the line if greater than or greater than equal to. I'm going to copy and paste this greater than or equal to symbol. And then shade below the line if less than or less than equal to. So less means below, above means greater. And then step 4, we are going to check a point by substitution. So we are going to use substitution to check a point in the shaded area. So you'll pick a point that's in that shaded area, plug it in, and see if it actually works out. Okay, don't forget to dash the line if less than or greater than. That's one thing that a lot of people forget. So just make sure you go back and check that. If it's not or equal to, then it must be dashed. All right, let's look at the next slide. When should your graph have a solid line? So insert special characters. could just copy those other ones. Okay, and what about dashed? Mm-hmm. Okay, we're asked to graph this. Is it going to be a solid or dashed line? Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little mark thing out here that says dashed. We don't know if it's above or below yet because you can only tell whenever it's already written in y equals form or y is less than or y is greater than form. So we know for sure it's dashed, but that's all we know right now. So what do we need to do with this equation in order to graph it? Yeah, we need to solve it. So we are on slide 5. Go ahead and write this down in your composition book. So we're solving for y. So we need to get y by itself. I circle y just to help you. Draw your line down your inequality symbol just like you would if it was an equation. And then solve it. So minus 2x on both sides. So this is a negative 3y is less than, put your mx plus b. So we are going to do negative 2x plus 12 because we can't combine those. And then divide by a negative 3 all the way through. When you divide by a negative, we're going to flip this sign. So this is now y is greater than negative over negative becomes positive 2 over 3x. And then 12 over negative 3, negative 4. All right, get a ruler out so we can graph it. We're going to graph it on here, and we can just insert a picture of our work. Do an x and y axis. And we're going to graph the line just like we would graph an equation. But what do we have to remember? Yeah, it's dashed. So don't make it a solid line, make it dashed. So we'll start out with negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then rise over run up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. 3 points is plenty. Then make sure you do dashed. I have to keep on saying that myself because I will forget. And put arrows on the end. So we know it's greater than. So what symbol are we going to use? I mean, how are we going to shade? Above or below if it's greater? Above. So I know this is a little confusing because a lot of people don't understand which part is above. But think about your hands out as airplanes, as an airplane wings. And so if I'm leaning like this, above is where my head is. Okay? So just think about above is where your head is. The rest of your body is where below would be. So this would be considered above. And that's all the shading you have to do. You don't have to make it solid. If you want a highlighter to shade, you're fine to do that. You can shade it as much or as little as you want, just as long as I can tell where it's shaded. That's all. So I'm also going to put it on here above. Okay, so let's look back at that slide. And we can just take a picture of this to put on there. Let's go ahead and answer these questions, though. When do I shade above the line? Greater than, and then greater than or equal to. If you want to put the symbols, that's fine too. I don't know why I wrote it out that time. And then when do we shade below the line? And what is our slope on this one? It's positive. 2 over 3. And the y-intercept is -4. There we go. Now take a picture of your graph and insert it over the top of this. I'm going to pause mine. Okay, if you'd rather continue to do it on paper, you can and just insert the image, or you can use the dots and tools to do it digitally. Okay, so our last step was to use substitution to check a point in the shaded area. So we'd want to check a point that's over here because of the greater than symbol. This is our solution set. It's any number or any coordinate that falls in this area, not including the line because the line is dashed. So we are going to check a point. So let's just pick any point. And we're not going to pick 0, 0. We want to try a different number. So how about 2, 1? That is part of the solution set. So 2, 1, x is 2, y is 1. So we would plug this in to our original equation. 2x minus 3y is less than 12. And let's see if it is in fact true, a true statement. So you do 2 times 2 minus 3 times 1 is less than 12. Well, that'd be 4 minus 3 is 1. Is 1 less than 12? Yeah. So that shows that that point is correct. So this is shaded correctly. If we were to use one of the points on the line, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, -4, just to look at that real quick. So we do 2 times the x value, so 2 times 0, minus 3 times y, negative 4, is less than 12. 2 times 0 is 0. Negative 3 times a negative 4 is 12. Is 12 less than 12? No. If it was less than or equal to, yes, because that would be considered a solid line. But this is a dashed line, and so that means that this point is not included. So this is not true. So it kind of proves that we were correct on that. Okay, let's look back at slide 6. So just some reminders over here. Questions to ask when graphing linear inequality. Is the inequality in slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. 2. If yes, identify m and b and plot the points. If no, convert the equation to slope-intercept form, then identify m and b and plot the points. 3. Before connecting the points, ask, should this be a solid line or a dashed line? Number 4, ask yourself, should you shade above or below your line? Remember, if you see a line in your inequality, make the line solid. If you do not see a line in your inequality, do not make a line. It'll be dashed. So it's saying, see how these symbols, this has a line in the inequality, so you're going to make the line solid. This one does not have a line, so you're going to make it dashed. If you draw an imaginary line at the opening of your inequality, if it resembles letter P, shade up. If it resembles letter D, shade down. These are just something that somebody else came up with. If this makes sense to you, you can use that. If not, you can ignore it. So let's look at the next one. Graph the linear inequality. Y is greater than or equal to 2/3 x plus 3. So let's answer the questions. Do you need to convert to slope-intercept form? No. I'm going to use my scribble tool. Nope. Now identify the m and the b. The m is 2/3. And the b is 3. Would the line be dashed or solid? Are we going to shade up or down? Greater than means go up, yeah. So above. Choose at least 2 points that are solutions to the inequality. All right, let's go ahead and graph it. So we can put some dots on here. Let's see. So we are going to start at our y-intercept, which is 3. Positive 3. So I'm going to do it digitally this time. And then up 2 over 3. Oh, I only went up 1. There we go. And it's a solid line. Make a line, go on the points. There we go. This point just doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, so up to 3, and then up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. Solid line. And then we're going to shade above. What would be one way to shade above here? What about a triangle? Is there a right triangle that we could do? Yeah. So we would do like, hold on, rotate it to match. I need to rotate it a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to make mine transparent, but let's see. Do a custom one that's transparent. That way you could still see the line. Did y'all see how I did that? Okay, so you're going to have to take this little line out here that's kind of sticking out, and that's how you rotate it to get it to be correct. And then you try to put up the corner here, and then pull down and pull over. It is tricky. And then once you get that, then you would add a custom color. Let's say I want it yellow. Ooh, that's some craziness. All right. But then change your transparency so that it can be seen, see-through. If you want to do it on paper, that's fine too. Okay, and then it says check at least 2 points that are solutions to the inequality. So on the line should be included, and then any other point. So let's see. About right here. I don't know what that is. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6, 0. And then we need one more. We could pick one that's on the line. Well, I wouldn't want to do that. Let's do, oh my gosh. Negative 3, positive 3. I'm going to work these out on my composition book. So x, y, so this would be 0 is greater than or equal to 2 over 3 times the negative 6 plus 3. So 2 over 3 times the negative 6 plus 3. It's negative 1. So 0 is greater than or equal to negative 1. And 0 is larger than negative 1, so that is true. So do this again. So this would be xy. So it'd be 3 greater than or equal to 2/3 times a negative 3 plus 3. Sorry, my symbol looks bad. So I'm just putting the right-hand side in my calculator just so I can ensure that it is correct. Sometimes I mess up whenever I'm dealing with fractions. And that gives me 1. Is 3 greater than or equal to 1? Yeah. So we checked them. Okay, so you are now left to do slide 7, and then we'll check it tomorrow. So go ahead and get started on that now. If you want to do it on paper and take a picture, upload it, that's perfectly fine. If you want to do it digitally, that's fine too. You decide what works best for you.